going on, Board Wars Nation, and welcome back to the official Board Wars podcast. I am your host, Gus the Guy, with my co-host, JD, as always. And JD, we had an awesome week of Board Wars last week. A lot of really exciting games and a lot of shenanigans to talk about for the upcoming act. But first of all, I guess just what did you think about the game? And, you know, usually I'm in the booth up here alone, but that wasn't true for the entirety of last game, as you kind of joined me up here.
Oh yeah, Gus, that was a ton of fun. You know, it was a last second decision to come back to hometown STL. I got it, and I was like, you know what? I think I can make it for that. At least I was a little late, but I made it to the games, able to sit by you. No, I didn't do too much GM stuff. I was kind of just like a little announcer there. I was kind of pointing out some things, but I had a lot of fun. Especially because Game 24 was definitely a game to rewatch or watch if you weren't there or if you didn't see it. We had, obviously, if you don't know, Brent Ritter went and took the dub. He got his third win of his career, which is crazy. But he was also playing Piano Man, MVP candidate, MVP frontrunner, and he was playing Jeff Malamas and Dan Teresios. So it was a great lineup of players and expectations from them. And obviously we can talk about the game. Actually, you talk about the beginning game because I wasn't there at the beginning. So maybe give us a little run.
That's true. Yeah. JD, for everyone who doesn't know, he joined like 2-3 turns in. But
and a lot of stuff happened in the first 2 turns.
It did. It was a very eventful game. This one would be one where if you rewatch it, you're going to get a lot out of it, and it's going to happen very fast. But this was a very exciting game, JD. And first of all, let me say I loved having you in the booth next to me. That was awesome. That was great to see. And I think that'll aid our discussion this week because you and I really got to watch this game together, which was very exciting. But the first few turns was very interesting because right off the bat, Piano Man, who we all knew was going to be on top, that 99 overall that everyone would be looking at, he immediately got caught in some very hot water. D. Tertios and Brent Ritter kind of had a deal going where D. Tertios would seize control of like the Death Star, but then he would give Brent the Mystic Elevator because they were both kind of going for the Mystic Elevator. So D. Tertios got the Death Star, which was his main thing that he seized control over. And then he kind of struck a deal with Brent where he would give him control of the Mystic Elevator. And immediately you could see that Brent, D. Tertios, even like Jeff, like everybody wanted Piano Man to lose. Nobody was striking any deals with him. Immediately, D. Tertios publicly said he's not going to Death Star Jeff. Then he publicly said he's not going to Death Star Brent. And that kind of, was pretty obvious to Piano Man where that Death Star was going to go. So Piano Man was like, hey, don't go for me. And D. Tertios wasn't telling him anything you wanted to hear. So Piano Man knew that he had to take things into his own hands. And to Piano Man's credit, I think playing on top, I say this a lot, but if all the attention is on you, playing on top is actually a very good strategy. Being the sole focus and actually using that to your advantage, playing a very strong offensive game, a game where like you're not even really trying to fly under the radar a little bit, I think that's a lot more of a wiser route, but Piano Man just couldn't get it done. And some of it was situation, I will say, like it was a hard situation to be in. Some of it was also technicalities and skill. He didn't have the most efficient attack on Dan. It was a little sloppy at times, but I thought there were strokes of genius in the strategy. I thought you could definitely tell that Piano Man is a top player. And to Piano Man's credit, it's really hard to win in those 3v1 scenarios because nobody was doing him favors. Jeff was kind of sitting over on the side and he didn't really help. But then at the end of that kind of craziness, Jeff was the person who put the nail in the coffin and killed his final 2 just to kind of start the apocalypse and get things going. So it was kind of a 3v1 type of situation. Maybe there were some political things Piano Man could have done to lessen that, but again, really tough situation that you joined me for the back half of.
No, 100%. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. Piano Man was put in a very difficult position. It's very difficult for any player to win a 3v1 type game. I don't think we really see that. But also, to his credit, the only times we really see people get in that 3v1 situation is when it's a great player, like
Yeah.
Dr. Luke or Drew or an Alex Bruns we saw last year. Even my game where I feel like I was a lot eyes on me and I went a different route. I went maybe try to fly on the radar and you saw that didn't work.
Yep.
So Panman tried to take a different route. Unfortunately, it didn't work. But I think and I agree with you. I think it is maybe the better route to take. You have a better chance of winning. But I think in the end, it was just there was too many eyes on him, and he stepped away. He had Omni Man over like I think it was like 200 health because he stayed with the Mercy's office.
Yeah.
But then Jeff kind of just waiting there, swapped him over and took him out, which is then where we
Yeah.
saw that switch of the game there because we see where the apocalypse get flipped, and now we have Brent and Jeff across from each other. We're both their full teams, and Dan's still in, but he's been fighting with Panda Man, so he's down his legendary, I think his other diamond, so he only has a few guys, but he still controls the Death Star, which makes the rest of the game interesting because Jeff and Brent have to diplomatize with him to kind of like convince him not to use the Death Star on them and switch it over to the other guy, and that's where I think Brent kind of shifts the game there because he's able to since he's close enough where he has the capability to go after Dan, he kind of uses that in his advantage. And he's like, Dan, I'm gonna jump over to you right now. And we saw a few times there's multiple timeouts called. It was on stream.
Yeah.
It was pretty tense because both of them Brent wasn't stepping down against it, and Dan was also playing it perfectly, like going between not like taking either side. Great diplomacy, like just like the Sallies always do. But Dan was playing it perfectly. But since Brent was kind of a little closer, he had the capability with that Mystic Elevator and with his guys to jump over there. So he was able to convince Dan to shoot over that Death Star to Jeff. And then along with that, he got Brent also at the Tesseract with Tom and Jerry, was able to get off 2 of those.
That was huge.
That was huge. So before Brent even had to run over to Jeff since he was across the board, he was picking him off one by one. Because at the beginning, they both had 5 cards. But by the end, before Brent even had to run over and get him, there wasn't much Jeff could do. He took out his 2 diamonds. I mean, he was way lower. Jeff was kind of in a desperate mode. He brought in Bird Island. He was trying to, roll for D20s. He got a new ability with Hog Rider. Misinterpreted
that was
the rules.
interesting. That was kind of interesting. So Hog Rider, just to back up a little bit, Hog Rider had the Necro Sword, which was huge. Through a play involving AOA Toto, and getting that final blow and the Grand Arena for the Necro Sword, and then he picked an ability from Parody Island that he thought would have actually given him the ability to always. So the ability is Marty McFly. And his ability is every time you do something, you can't do worse. You can't perform worse than you previously did. The thing is that is kind of unspoken or unwritten, but implied in that is every single thing you could use your action on is a separate, distinct thing. So like board rolls, it's not just any board roll, your minimum carries over to the next one. It's also every individual attacker. Like if I attack this person versus this person, those are different things. So he was thinking maybe he gets that ability. He does like 100 something damage with the Necro Sword. And then now every time Hog Rider attacks, even though it's the Apocalypse and the Necro Sword goes back to kind of negatively affecting him, he's still doing a bunch of damage because he can't perform worse. But that's just not how the ability works. So maybe a misunderstanding there, but then he kind of tries to make a remedy. Whoa, I just hit my mic. Then maybe he tries to make a remedy to that mistake by summoning in Bird Island, which to his credit was an awesome idea. He just didn't have enough actions and enough time to really get that going before things heated up in the Apocalypse. So interesting end game opportunities for Jeff. And I want to say like Brent's strategy for actually winning this game, which you were kind of touching on, like I think really came down to getting Mercy's office off for Bowser.
Yeah.
And I heard a lot of people saying that Bowser's got to get nerfed. Bowser's got to get nerfed. And I do understand Bowser is 3-0 this season. Like, obviously he's a good card. But my whole thing is, I don't know if this was a game that convinced me that Bowser should be nerfed, because Bowser gained 100 health and nobody touched him, and like he built up points until like turn 8. So like, I think a lot of these cards that build up in a crazy way, like Bowser has the capacity to do, is really crazy if you let them build up for 8 turns and gain 100 health. Like, what card wouldn't be crazy that builds up if, like, under that circumstance, like all of them are nuts at that point. And then, you know, Brent really taking control of the board with the Mystic Elevator and the Billy and Koopas that Bowser, you know, has the tendency to spawn, was really what seized in the game. And to your credit, also, I want to say I completely agree with the stuff with Dan in the political sphere of the game. He played it very well. There was a moment at the end where he definitely should have just told Brent that he was going to Death Star Jeff.
Yeah.
Or picked a side with Jeff. He kind of played the middleman for too long in my mind. Like, he should have picked a side before he did, in my opinion. Maybe people at home are going to disagree, but I think that was kind of the reason he lost, which, you know, the Sallies don't really need wins. I mean, they're not going into these games really like, oh man, we need to win these games, but I'm sure Dan would have liked to win that one anyway. I also want to shout out real quick Slushy, because I hear that, you know, he was the main, you know, the vice captain was the main guy captaining Dan in person in Florida together. And that's really cool. So I think it was also awesome to see Slushy flex a little bit of his captain legs and prove that through a Slushy ran or Slushy monitored game, we could expect similar results to the Salamanders, which is, I think, something that surprised a lot of people.
No, yeah, 100%. I was very impressed with, first of all, just Dan's gameplay after being back from 14 games he hadn't played since the playoffs. So it had been a little bit for Dan. But I mean, he came back and you saw the Sallies they kind of have like a system of how they play the game. Usually go similar. Obviously, all players have their different tendencies, so it's never gonna be the same because everyone plays differently. But they have the similar tendencies if you go and look at their games. So they always get second place, always in those end games in between two. They always find themselves in the middle and playing both sides very well. And you saw that with Dan. It was impressive to see it. After the game, we heard Slushy was kind of more in that captain seat, whereas Gideon was kind of taking a step back. And that's really impressive to see, because Slushy, you already know, he's one of the best players in the game, defensive player of the year, offensive player of the year. But it's also great to see training up players and being in the captain chair. It kind of just even shows how good of a player and like person in the community he is. So that was exciting to see.
Yeah.
And then really, I was excited to see Brent get his third win. Obviously, I had him a lot lower in my
Hey, I told you, JD. Listen, I was saying this, I was joking about this off stream. We need to rename this podcast Gus is right about everything. And JD is wrong about everything, I guess. Unless he agrees with Gus. That's a long title, but I think that's maybe what we should start calling it. I don't know.
I mean, so far, I've been 0-2 with the games. Brent, I think I was a little low on. I mean, to be fair, he didn't have the win yet. So, I mean, maybe I had him a little lower than he should have been. But with this win, obviously, maybe I'm going to have to do a relook at my my top 15.
Maybe. I mean, dude, you had Brent lower than Python on your list. That was nuts to me, man. The Brent disrespect was getting out of control. Also, I want to say, just a little bit of a recap for those of you that go back and listen to it. You'll hear this. But I did actually say that I would have picked Jeff if you didn't. So part of it is luck because you picked Jeff, and then I decided to pick Brent because I didn't want to, do
the same thing.
I don't know. Did I really predict it? I don't know. But it goes down in the record books as I did. So that's great.
We'll put an asterisk next to it,
No asterisk. That was my... No,
it was like a 50-50 though. It was like you said on stream you were going to choose Jeff.
I locked it in. Yeah, I don't know. It counts. I wouldn't have counted it if Jeff had won, so I think it's only fair if that goes in the win column. And you know what? I also get to victory lap my Brent all-time conversation, takes. That's awesome. But no, it was great to see a little bit of a return for form for Brent. he was a player that just, we all know he's capable of great things, or at least we should. We must now. It's kind of undeniable at this point. And now that he's 3-3 in his career, I mean, man, it's time to have some interesting conversations. The Beavers have put themselves in a great position to try to seize control of the playoffs here, as I think now they're in the picture at the 4 seed.
No, yeah, I believe so. And with that, is that their second divisional win?
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah. They have supreme tiebreakers over everybody in that division, which honestly, I don't know how much it's needed, because the Llamas, they're not really competing with for ties. The Sallies, they're not really competing with for ties. But and the team that they are, they don't even have a divisional win, though. So, like, I don't know. I guess now it's impossible for the Dragons to tie the Beavers in divisional wins, which is cool. But no, the Beavers are having a great season that we can talk about a little bit more before we kind of shift into Beaver talk and Beaver glaze, which I'm excited for. I also want to say, like, just a few things about some of the other players. Piano Man, I want to say props to Piano Man, because he got triple teamed, played well, very frustrating situation. And then he gave a very level-headed exit interview. And I think that showed a lot of maturity for him as a player. I thought that was admirable. For Dan, I got to say, fresh off the suspension, and there were some people who thought maybe he was being suspended for too long for his infraction that will be left unspecified on the podcast. But he did something bad. He got suspended, maybe for too long, some people say. But I got to say, our rehabilitation in Board Wars has worked, because Dan came back and he was one of the most positive, like, joyful, awesome guys to have. I was playing that game with Dan, and he's always great to be around. Dan's just a super positive, nice guy. But I was like, dude, this dude is nice. Like, he was just being very kind to everybody. He there were times where he was kind of getting a little heated, like everybody would, but then he was like, but at the end of the day, it's all love, man. And I don't know, that's really refreshing for me, because sometimes I'm the GM, and when people lose, sometimes they're salty. And that always sucks for me, because I'm like, okay, well, now it's awkward now. Now people are mad at each other, and I've got to be like, well, on to the next thing, so that can be sometimes hard, but Dan, he made it so easy for me. Jeff, I also wanted to shout out. I'm just throwing shout outs all around before we move on to the Beavers. But Jeff not only had a great game, he played the most inspiring game I have seen from the Llamas this season. This was actually, even their win, this is the game where I was most convinced that, like, the Llamas are actually turning something around and changing something. You could tell that they had a new influence. And shout out to Calbrus, the vice captain, who drove up to St. Louis, sat next to Jeff for the game, coached him. And I think that combination of Jeff and Calbrus is really what resulted in a fresh feeling Llamas for the first time all season. And maybe it did fall apart in the end game, but you know what? The Llamas usually this year haven't made it to the end game. So they don't have much. They're a little rusty in their end games. But, I think if they keep getting in these positions and, being well coached, being well played, I think that could change next season.
No, yeah, I have those shout outs 100% deserved, all those players. It was one of my favorite games to watch. The implications for all those players was amazing. Jeff, I wish I was at that moment. I wish I was like in the Llamas locker room. I was like, this feels like that was like prime Llama locker room. Brent playing, that was like prime. Felt like I was playing him in the playoffs. Like, he was, you could feel when he was on top at the end of the game. Brent, you could feel he was making these jokes. Like, you could feel like it was like, hey, this is the Brent we saw on that Purple Dragons. Like, he felt, you could feel he felt in control. He's like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, this is the spot where I'm used to be playing at. So that was just really fun to watch.
Totally. And shout out to the Beavers. They're now in an awesome position for the playoffs. And wow, what a turnaround that has been for a team that hasn't had their captain a majority of the season. Like, that core of rookies slash Brent, who was a second year guy, like
Yeah.
really coming together and building something impressive, giving it their all, and just I don't know, having camaraderie. It's awesome. It's cool. And Drew is the luckiest captain in the league
Yeah.
to draft like that. And I think, to Drew's credit, the decision to rebuild around a young core ended up working really well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, that is just one of the best off seasons I think we've seen. You know, we ranked our drafts, but all in all, the Beavers, what a turnaround from last year to this one. Complete rebrand.
No, yeah, you love to see it. I think it's because of the players. Obviously, Drew has been around, but those players, the dedication they had to the game, like just building up their skills and really just their love for the game with, Jackson and Isaac and all those guys, they love the game, they want to get good at it. And they did, you saw two rookies get a win, and then you saw Brent get his third win, and then now you have obviously Drew's coming back, Drew's in the game, Ryan's coming back. We haven't seen him at all this season, so he's a mystery. He's up in the air. I'm not sure.
And that's what's crazy. That's what's crazy, because this team hasn't even rolled out their best.
No.
Like, this is a team that not only right now is slated to make the playoffs, but if they make it, is a huge problem for every team. Because I mean, there's a very real possibility we see like Jackson and Charlie with Drew by their side for the first time in the playoffs. Like, that is just such a, I don't know, dude. I get excited just thinking about it.
No, it's as a player, like if the Ashbears were to make the playoffs and they're in it, that's a team to watch out for. Like early in the season, you're like, if they made playoffs, they wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I mean, now they've already proven they're good players that can win games with one of the best players, with Drew next to your side. There's not many things they're missing there, and also they're in they're on a hot streak right now. Like everything's going for them, so I think they're in an amazing spot.
And like the Raptors, I mean, they're peaking at the right time. And, the Salamanders are so far ahead that I think we can officially say they have clinched the playoffs. I don't think it's possible. I think it's mathematically impossible now that they don't make it. So, hey, congrats, Sallies, for clinching. For them, it might not matter as much, but for a lot of these other playoff seats, it looks like it's going to come down to who is peaking at the right times. And honestly, I don't think you or I really expected the Beavers to be this good without Drew. Oh. And like you were saying, in the playoffs, this team that has built themselves up and proved that they're a good team without Drew is now gaining some of the best help that the league has in their captain reuniting with them for the postseason and helping them make a push here at the end. I mean, I legitimately think it's possible that the Beavers win 2 of their last 3 games. I don't think that's ridiculous to say.
It's not ridiculous to say. No,
it's not ridiculous.
Not ridiculous. I mean, with Ryan, if Ryan plays a few times, if Drew hops in, I think the competition, I think a lot of teams threw out their best guys already, and I think maybe the competition will be maybe in their favor, and especially when we saw when Drew played with Ryan, it's a crazy combo, and obviously when Drew plays, he's just a great player. So I think whoever they throw in that game, if Drew's there, they've already proven they do without Drew. With Drew there, I mean, we're about to see. I can't imagine how much better they can get after winning games, but I think they're gonna fix those time problems, those little action clock problems, and they'll be just fine.
Yeah, Drew will definitely help smooth some things over, and we're at a situation now where there are, there's the 4-win Raptors, and then we're right back to 5 3-win teams. And that really just shows that it's anybody's chance. It's up to anything in these final 6 games of the season. Really, any of those 6 teams, I guess 5 teams, 6 teams, because the Raptors included, any of those 6 teams could make it. It really just comes down to who's going to win games. I think if you get 5 wins at this point, you clinch. So now we're kind of looking to see, okay, maybe the Raptors win a game, because there's a chance that the Beavers win another game and miss the playoffs. Like, think about that. That is entirely possible. It's just going to come down to the wire for a lot of these decisions. Tiebreakers are really going to matter. And you got to start looking at the teams who have the best APF as the best candidates for those tiebreakers in my mind. So to me, even though they have 3 wins, the Astro Bears are in a great spot. For me, even though they have 3 wins, the Cuties are in a pretty good spot, 2.5. Like, very interesting stuff here. Now, obviously, it is hard for the Cuties because they don't have that divisional win tiebreaker. But for cross-divisional stuff, they're one of the best teams for those cross-divisional situations. So it's just going to be exciting to see the season come to a close and man, find out what the playoffs are going to look like this year.
100%. All right, Gus. For our next segment, we have the highly anticipated, what we've all been waiting for, Act 5, and what cards come with that.
That's awesome.
I'm very excited for this segment because these cards are going to determine these last few games, who makes the playoffs, what's going to be looking like. And personally, my favorite part of Board Wars is just like what the cards look like, their abilities. And since we haven't seen these cards, and I know from previous season, obviously some new cards, we'll talk about those. There's some past cards that maybe there's been a rework, but I remember using them last season and I haven't seen them yet. So I'm really excited to talk about them and see them on these next couple of games. I was thinking we go from, bronze all the way down to, legendary and GOAT series, stuff like that. So I'm going to read off some of the bronze players, and let me know like what you're thinking about them.
Totally. Yeah.
So first bronze, we got Shoyo Hinata. Second, we have McLovin. And I guess there's only 3, and the third one is Tugboat. Guys, tell me, how are you feeling about those?
Shoyo
it's only a couple.
Hinata is fun. I mean, that's a new card that we haven't seen. So it's the first time we'll be seeing like a new bronze. Well, I guess not really. Party Phil we saw this time, but
yeah, that's true.
It is rare to see a new bronze though. And Party Phil especially was really powerful. So I'm interested to see the balancing of Shoyo Hinata. And McLovin is interesting because he hasn't had an ability in the past, because only recently it's been a rule where all cards must have abilities now. And then Tugboat, same with him. So I'm interested to see what kind of abilities these guys have. I'm just going to pretend, because I'm on the committee of people who know that I don't. Yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah, Gus, give us some spoilers here. We know you know.
I do. These are going to be some fun cards. These are going to be some nice cards for you guys to get. And I think it's going to spice some things up. They're not going to be the most powerful in the world, but they're kind of my favorite type of bronze, or my favorite type of ability in general is like they have their own rule, which, is whatever. But then when you think about it, the implications can get interesting. So these cards might be very good under very specific circumstances. And that's all I'll say. Yeah, guys.
Okay.
So that'll be exciting.
That makes sense.
And JD, I love that we're doing this because, we used to have directs to announce all these cards, and anybody can just go and look, right? But I'm excited to kind of roll out these with you today. Is there anything you want to say about the bronzes before I go on to silvers?
I mean, obviously, there's only a couple of them. We have the new card. Personally, I've seen Tugboat, McLovin. I'm excited to see them just in the game. They didn't. I don't think either of them had abilities last time, but they're great. The great characters to pull. Personally, I just love when I get cards that I've seen before, or like I've seen the movie, or it's been in the game. That's kind of my favorite part of Board Wars. So I think even if their ability is not going to be as good, usually the bronze, they're usually related to them in some way, and their character is in that movie or a comic. So I think this is going to be fun to see what the new ones are.
Yeah. No, it'll be awesome to see them stretch their legs. As we move on to the silvers, we have Mumin Rider, Finn McMissile, Jake Freebirds, Mickey Mouse, Scooby-Doo, Sheen, Wild Robot, Winnie the Pooh, Jeff the Land Shark, Little Guys, Augustus Tepe, me, very exciting, Honky Pete, and last but not least, Cotton Candy Randy. How iconic.
Yeah. Bear count. Wow. Honestly, what a pull by the Silvers right here.
Yeah.
First of all, you have the commissioner. We get to finally see him in game.
Yep.
What's your ability code? Let's see. It is Purple Dragon. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
Who would have guessed? So that's fun. I think these are some fun cards. I mean, a lot of these we've seen before. Finn McMissile, that's a great silver to have. Like back in the past, like he's one of the best silvers. You know, able to manipulate speed like that.
Yeah.
Move your characters further. That's always
Winnie the Pooh is one of the
fun to
best
use.
healers in the game. That's pretty
Yeah,
great.
he drops. Does he drop honey on the ground or does he go pick it up?
We can find, I think there's one honey pot in every tile at the start of the game. He has to go claim it and then he can give it to somebody. So I mean it's hard though, because I mean he's got like literally
His
one speed. So it's like moving
He
through
does
those
literally have
tiles
one
can be
speed.
hard, but if you can get him around, I mean that honey heals a lot. So
No, that's not a bad ability. And then you have little guys. I think that's honestly one of the most interesting abilities because it's on a silver. So basically, like when you attack and you have to attack them together, they multiply. Obviously, their attack is very low, so it usually doesn't do that much. But I love it because if you figure out a way to buff them up, like I was able in a practice game, I was able to buff up the little guys. I don't even remember what it was, but I know it did like 200 damage because they had way more attacks and they multiply against each other. So I think that's one of the most interesting and unique abilities out there. It's like it's very dangerous if you just let them sit there and he grabs like a diamond sword or something.
you
like
always have to account for them. And it's easy because if you sneeze on either of them and kill either of them, like it's now the ability is impossible, right?
that.
But that is exciting.
That's a great one. And then obviously, I think the cherry on top, Kaji Candy Brandy. You know, if you didn't watch the Dragon Ball Extravaganza Christmas special, one of the greatest games of all time, in my opinion. You know, it was a little special event that we had for Board Wars. I think it's streamed. Then you go watch it. Pretty sure it's out there on the YouTube. But yeah, obviously we saw his ability out there. I think it's just an iconic card, especially we've had the one spin we had was about him. So I think there's a ton of great cards in these silvers.
I would agree. Honky Pete is awesome to see. Sheen with his ability, Planet Sheen, great to see. And also Scooby-Doo, who's another really good healing silver.
Yeah, with the Scooby Snacks.
Yeah, those are
wow, really? These are some stacked silvers. Honestly, these are some of the better silvers.
No, it is. And I will say that's kind of what it is across the board. We put like all the cool cards in Act 5. Obviously not all of them, right? Because there's so many cool cards. But we tried to make Act 5 the most like climactic final lineup. So maybe you'll see that as we continue.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and then with that, I guess we can move on to our golds.
Sure.
Let's see. So first gold, we got Alphonse Elric. Then we got Captain Underpants, Finn the Human, Samurai Jack, Hawkeye, Banjo and Kazooie, Cassidy, Donkey Kong, Little Mac, Mega Man, Ratchet, Wario, Yoshi, Borgandies, Captain Kirk, Frodo and Sam, Han Solo, Jon Snow, Walter White, and then the new gold, Eli Manning, who was originally a diamond.
Yeah.
What do we think about those, Gus?
JD, I mean, there's like 3 or 4 guys on here that used to be diamonds. Cassidy used to be a diamond. Samurai Jack used to be a diamond. Alphonse Elric. And I think Eli Manning, Walter White as well. 5 of those cards used to be diamonds.
Wow.
So they got demoted, right? But that kind of shows you, how like some cards, like some tiers have just gotten better over time, you know? That they've gotten demoted and they've got pretty good abilities. But also that shows you how good this act is going to be. Hawkeye is one of my favorite cards in the game. His ability to basically crit his attacks is really cool. Man, what else? Finn the Human is awesome to play with. Mega Man is really strong. I don't know if you remember what he does.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong has some crazy potential with his barrels for mobility. Yoshi has some pretty good potential. Burgundy's is kind of nuts, peak wise. Han Solo is really good, and Jon Snow. I think for
Jon Snow's
my
great.
money, Jon Snow is the best gold in the game.
No, yeah, I don't. Yeah, you hadn't said it yet, but with the giving you those advantage for that tile, is huge for a gold. I mean, especially when with those bronze, silver, and golds, mainly when you use those guys, or what you want from them is kind of you want them to help build up your stronger guys, kind of put you in a good position, use those abilities. And with Jon Snow, it's so easy to because sometimes other guys more difficult. Certain situations you can use the ability. It's a little harder. With Jon Snow, you kind of immediately use it. You get those advantages.
Well, you have to be smart about how you're marking your territory, right? And you got to keep Jon Snow alive. So, that cannot be easy sometimes. But man, the fact that you double your effectiveness, I don't know.
No, I think it's one of the best golds out there. I mean, you were naming a few. I'm very interested to see, like you said, there's 5 guys that were diamonds are now golds.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see kind of obviously if I'm assuming that they're new abilities. I'm guessing they were complete reworked.
Yeah.
I'm assuming is that true, Gus?
I mean,
give us something.
Do you think I don't know. Do you look at those? I guess my question for you would be, do you look at those abilities from how they were? And do you think to yourself, wow, those were too good to be gold abilities? Or do you look at them and you're like, okay, that kind of fits a gold? That would be my deflecting question back to you, I guess.
That's a good point. I don't remember all their abilities, but obviously I know like Eli Manning, I know he wasn't a good diamond. Like, obviously, I think as the game goes on and we added more diamonds, a lot of times when you make a card, you want it to be cool. So I think we made a lot of, like, top-tier diamonds. I think those lower cards, like Eli Manning, those guys like that, slipped down kind of the podium pool, especially when not everyone had abilities. So when we started adding abilities, other diamonds and other golds, you kind of realize their abilities weren't good. So, honestly, and then maybe you're making it sound like they are the same abilities, if that's what you're saying. So if it is what you're saying, maybe people go check the season 2 ability sheet, go check it out. We don't know. Gus hasn't confirmed. Maybe it's a yes or no.
Maybe.
No.
And I will say,
some digging.
Sometimes when we change cards, we don't just completely change them or not change them at all. Usually we at least change them a little bit. So, I mean, whether that's literally updating the terminologies and functionally they're exactly the same, or if it goes as far as to like tweak some of the values just a little bit, like some of those economy abilities. Sometimes we'll just like nerf them or buff them point wise and call it a day, So I don't know. I guess you guys will see what that looks like. But man, JD, a lot of really cool golds in this one. One more person I want to shout out is Burgundy's. We gotta have him on the show sometime, man. Famous singer.
Yeah. Just the two of us, man.
I love that
This
song.
guy, honestly, it's amazing. Honestly, maybe next week, we'll call him up. We'll get him on here.
Do you think we could? He's such a superstar,
He's a big name. He's a big superstar. I think if we, guys, if we get the views up on here, send this video to your family. Get this video blow up, and we're like, hey, Borgen, he's like, look how good we're doing. Like, come on the show. Like, this will help you out. I think he would be willing. I think he's also a nice guy. Maybe he would also help us out.
Maybe he would. Comment, bring back. No, not bring back, because he hasn't ever done it. Bring in Burgundies. BIB for short. #BIB. And we'll try to make it happen. We'll give him $1,000 to hop on the pod.
Oh, $1,000. Oh.
Yeah. No, JD will pitch in $1,000 straight out of his pocket, everyone.
Oh, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, guys. If you start paying me for this podcast, maybe.
Hey, watch it. Share it with your friends. If we can get JD $1,000, he can give it.
Hey, yes. If
the Burgundies.
If you guys get the views up, we get $1,000 paid for this episode. Burgundies. I promise you, I will get Burgundies on this episode.
Huge if true. Huge if true. As I guess we're moving on to the diamonds finally. And man, JD, this is where it starts to heat up. Okay. Very strong cards for this act, as I was saying. Those cards are going to be Ash Ketchum, Jolene Cujo, Spike Spiegel, Thorfinn, Invincible, Metro Man, Aquaman, Captain America, Cyborg, Cyclops, Gambit, Iron Man, Professor X, Shredder, Vision, Sundew, Lucas, Ness, Orpheus, Bumblebee, Legolas, Percy Jackson, Allen Iverson, CM Punk, and Matt Pat. Very exciting cards there. And reading that long list, my announcer voice, I think, deteriorated as we went along. But exciting stuff there, JD. I mean, what a bunch of awesome cards. What stands out to you immediately?
Man, honestly, so much. I think diamonds are usually some of my favorite cards. I think just there's so many of them, so there's so many to choose from.
Yeah.
But also their abilities is always like there's such like a high upside to them. So they're always fun to use. You always a lot of times you get like 2 of them, so you get to see so many of them. First thing that sticks out to me, first actually is Metro Man. That guy was also a legendary.
Yeah.
Last season, correct? Yeah. I was just thinking about that. I was like, I got him in a practice game, and I was against some other pretty good legendaries, and I got Metro Man, who I thought wasn't very good.
Hey,
and he's now a diamond, so maybe I was right. But no. Anyways, I think I'm just ranting here, but I think there's some great guys here. Captain America. His ability to bring back his guys, that's a great card. Attack people come back, even if you're kind of item farming. Aquaman, go between water. That's sick. Ash Ketchum, that's a fun card. You get to pull out the Pokemon cards. That has they all have very like unique abilities. So that's a really fun card.
Ash Ketchum is awesome. That was the first name not only that I read, but that stood out to me as like, wow, what a card, Thorfinn's really cool. Jolene Cujo used to be a legendary.
Yeah.
She was really good legendary too.
I know. I'm actually a little surprised. I didn't think she was a bad legendary at all.
No.
I guess there's so many legendaries out there. I'm guessing you guys we had to bounce it out. I'm assuming.
Something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Who else is on here? We have Sundew. I mean, if he has the same ability,
Sundew
that
is
ability
overpowered, man. Like the idea that you just have 2 15 to the 4th attacks on anybody when he dies, it's just insane. Like that's politically leveraged so high.
Mm-hmm. Well, and especially think about this. It's in Act 5. There's a couple more games left. Some teams, they may not need to win a game, but they need to make sure a team doesn't win.
That's
and
when you have
point. When you have a card that can basically take out their top 2 cards, you are going to be in an amazing diplomacy spot. No one's going to want to take you out because if they take you out, they're going straight for your head. So I think honestly, that might be one of the most game-changing cards when that card comes out for depending on what game it is. But if it's like one of those last 2 division games and Sundew pops out in one of those, that's a game changer. That might be like the game might hinge just on that card.
Well, and Percy Jackson used to be a legendary.
Oh yeah.
Lucas and Ness is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I also got to say, Bumblebee isn't like the most earth-shattering card, but he's very good.
Okay.
Orpheus is game-changing. Get ready for the new Orpheus card. He's going to be one of the better diamonds in the whole game. So
really, is that what?
Yeah. No, he's very strong. With his ability, Epic 3. So, I mean, dude, this is just exciting. And Lucas is one of my favorite diamonds. Sundew is one of my favorite diamonds. Iron Man is really sick now. Like Captain America's very sick. Gambit, Cyclops. Cyclops' ability is awesome with the ability to like continuously attack and,
to open it,
upgrade his attacks and stuff. Thorfinn is really fun. It's just an awesome group of guys. I'm trying to think about who else really stands out to me. Percy
Yeah, I'm
Jackson
looking
will be
around right now.
fun. I like him. CM Punk is really fun. Allen Iverson with his ability to pass off speed is really powerful.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's especially with these. I mean, we'll see as we come into these legendary cards. I mean, buffing up an already strong card with that speed, that's helpful. I'm
Sure.
even looking at Legolas. We've seen him the past 2 seasons. I wouldn't say he's like the best diamond, but I think it's fun the ability to the range to be able to curve around corners.
Yeah.
Very unique to his ability. So that one's always fun to use.
He might have gotten a little
yeah, I mean, I
buff
think they're
too.
just. Oh, okay.
Just
I
so
mean,
you know.
heard from Commissioner. Just maybe there's a little
Maybe
buff,
just a
so
little
maybe
buff.
he's even better.
Maybe just a little buff.
There's a little buff. Who else was that? Oh, it's just Vision. If it's the same ability, Mindstone. Originally, in the past seasons, was he spawns in with the gem, which is, I mean, some gems are better than others, but I mean, if you can get in like on Chaos Gem, Reality Gem, you immediately be able to switch tiles, change a tile.
Yeah.
That's.
I mean, all
awesome.
of them are game changing, right? So.
Yeah,
Dude.
all of them good. Some of them, I think my favorite. If I got Reality Gem or Chaos Gem, beginning of the game, that's I think those would be my 2 favorite to start.
And I gotta say, maybe for Vision, maybe the new version. I don't know how I can be nonchalant about this, but maybe the new version you might get to choose.
Whoa!
I don't know.
Wow,
That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
That would be a cool idea if the makers of the game did that.
That would be cool. Yeah, I think that would be pretty interesting. I also think it would be interesting if there was a point in the game or a different way to change what the gem in his head was at different times.
Wow,
that'd be cool.
If the makers of the game did that, that would make that diamond a really good diamond. That he would become probably one of my favorite.
He'd be a really cool diamond. If that happened. If the Board Wars, deities are out there listening to this, make it happen.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Just a little sneak peek.
Yeah, with
guys. Hey, listen. We love the pod people. The pod people totally get to hear about some of these first.
Yeah, I know. I know we were looking. Not everyone's watching. So I mean, if you're watching, I think you deserve a little sneak peek, a little Easter egg. That's all. I was hoping Gus would give us a little something here.
Throw a little bit of things in
maybe
there. Throw a little bit of things in
there. Maybe. But yeah, should I move on to the highly anticipated legendaries?
Yeah, and again,
our next group.
We were talking about how these are going to be some of the best legendaries in the game. I think you're about to see maybe what we were talking about. Go ahead.
All right. First legendary, Aaron Yeager.
Huge.
Next, Jotaro Kujo.
Huge.
Naruto.
Huge.
Satoru Gojo with Limitless.
Huge. He's good.
Dr. Doom.
Oh my gosh.
Spider-Man. Doomslayer. Kratos. Lord Licorice. Sephiroth. Luke Skywalker. Steph Curry. The Undertaker.
Wow.
And last but not least, Markiplier.
What a list of guys. What a list of guys there. Spider-Man, Doctor Doom, Doomslayer, Kratos. Man, what that alone is crazy. Aaron Yeager is really good with his new Titan abilities. Luke Skywalker, game breaking. Sephiroth can be game breaking. Steph Curry, the ability to attack anybody anywhere is just insane. And so true to how Steph Curry is. And the Undertaker is so scary to play against.
100%. Yeah, I mean, these cards are awesome players. I mean, even with, you named a few, Markiplier, that's an insane card to go against. With the 2, you have to understand, also, when you're using card, you have to understand which one does which, but also if you're playing against them, you also have to know and understand his ability if you want to actually kill him and actually take advantage of him, because they're both very different. One of them, I know you can't attack. Some gets tower rewards. Some can attack. One doesn't die. So there's a lot going on with his card. Kratos, we keep seeing him come around. He always has a lot of times there's always tweaks to his ability.
Oh, and the
I'm
previous
looking at.
iteration we've seen of Kratos was powerful. Very
Mhm.
powerful stuff.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see if that stays the same or if that got reworked. What else do we have? Doctor Doom from if you haven't season 1, the
Classic.
guy was busted. Obviously, he got reworked a little bit. Still an amazing card. You have the ability, to change with the bots, or you just go out when you start killing people. You steal that Tao's ability. Crazy card to have. Spider-Man, awesome card.
Spider-Man's powerful.
Very powerful. I actually don't remember his ability from at least last season.
His ability was the same. He has his utility
Okay.
where he gets to pick, what thing he gets.
The buffs. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I know. We have multiple. We have like Miles Morales. Sometimes I get their abilities kind of confused because we have another Spider-Man
That's
out
fair.
in the game.
Yeah, there's 2.
And then who else? Sephiroth. The ability to wipe out a tile and everyone in it is insane.
Yeah.
We were just talking about playoff games.
And you got to charge
last
it up,
episode.
but I mean, if you can,
You do.
Huge.
Very huge. But yeah, I think those cards are what's going to decide the game right there. I mean, we even talked about Naruto. I mean, you touched on Eren Yeager. He doesn't look initially that strong, like his base stats. But when you get a kill with him, because every time you get a kill, you get to choose one of those buffs.
Yep.
And some of them look pretty good, but I think there's one of them. Don't remember what it's called, but it's the one where you can every space you move and if someone's in it, they take damage. That's insane. That's insane. And imagine you pair that, get a little Batmobile, you get a little vehicle, you add more speed to him, and you start getting other kills, and that's when he starts to become insane.
Yeah.
So base stats doesn't look like the best. So right off the start of the game, he may look not as good compared to the other cards on the board just because of his base stats. But once he gets that kill, he becomes right away one of the most dangerous cards to face.
For sure. And, of course, there's also a win condition, right? So, I mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there is.
That's pretty awesome. It's the founding titan if you choose it last. Win if you end your turn in the middle of Parody Island. So, I mean, that's exciting. All of these cards are really good. And, I mean, I think I'm good to take us over to the series, JD.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking after we do these series briefly, I will let you go over some of these legendaries, any tier, I'll say. And I'll let you pick 5 cards and I'll kind of give you I'll let you pick maybe a few from each category. And I'll tell you if they've gotten a buff, a nerf, or if they've stayed the same. And we'll do that after this. But, so stay tuned for that, everybody. But for the series cards, and these are some of the most exciting cards of the top tiers in the game, we have the Purple Dragon, Sans, Icon Jack Sparrow, Muhammad Ali, the new legacy, and last but not least, Stan Lee. Of course. Who else? I mean, what a stacked cast of series cards. Some GOATs, some icons, some legacies. And of course, the new Muhammad Ali, which is going to be very exciting, very powerful card, as I'm sure you guys will find out soon. But I mean, what do you think about these cards, JD?
These are some insane cards. I mean, obviously, we've seen all of them except Muhammad Ali, and you just said that. I mean, he's the greatest. I mean, he's the GOAT. He's active 15 the Force.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's going to be one of the best cards out there. Excited to see what his ability is. But no, these cards are like the definition of game changing. Sans, he's iconic. He's always been around. That ability, get dunked on. It's just insane. Jack Sparrow is one of the most unique and fun one to use because he spawns in that ship and you can move it around immediately. You can get items from it. You can shoot from it. You can use it like the Mystic Elevator. So there's so much.
If you have Jack Sparrow, it's like you don't need anything else. It almost doesn't matter what tiles are in your spawn.
No, you just sit in there. You can item farm in there. You can go bring it over to another team and just absolutely shoot them with your
Yeah.
cannons. So that's a fun card. Purple Dragon. That one's fun to use. That one's also probably one of the most unique ones because obviously
There's a lot going on.
it was based. There's a
There's
lot going on, and I mean, if you don't know like the background to it, it's kind of weird. You know, there's like some crabs. There's like a little Monopoly going on. There's
Yeah.
like heck. You're like, what is going on? So that's a really fun card, but it's actually really dangerous, especially if you get sent to heck.
Being sent to heck can ruin your game completely.
Yeah, you get stuck in there, and he can just attack you remotely while you have to roll to get out of there. No one wants to get in there, so no one wants to get close to him. So kind of a good like defensive, but also offensive because you're gonna wipe out a guy if you get stuck in there.
Yeah.
And then I think one of my favorites is Stanley. I mean, the ability to choose your ability and then choose your how much speed you have, what's your attack. Correct me if I'm wrong. When you choose Stanley, can it only be the ability from Act 5?
No, you could pick any ability in the whole game.
From anything. Okay. That I wasn't sure, but I think that makes it way more fun. I think the reason I love Stanley is because you have to do your research. Like because a lot of times people, they get the card and like, shoot, you got a couple minutes to pick it. But I mean, if you're smart and you know he's in this act, I would start looking at that ability sheet, start making some combinations and write that down. So when you get into that game and your team has the opportunity to get that card, you have some ideas you can throw out there because there are some busted combinations with, defense and ability, or maybe with speed and a different type of ability. There's some awesome combinations that are game changing, probably with the new abilities that are also coming out that I probably don't even know about. I have a list of some. If I ever get Stan Lee, I have some fun ideas to do, but there's always new abilities and rework. So I'm sure there's even secret gems out there that I haven't found. So I encourage you to do your research on Stan Lee because I mean you're the one. You can either make that card, an all right legendary, or you can make it the best in the game. It's really up to you because you're creating him.
It's true.
But yeah, overall, I think that's an insane class. What do you think about it, Gus?
I mean, obviously, as I said earlier, I mean, these are some of the most favorited series cards in the game. So it's really exciting just as we come down to this end of the season. Everyone's kind of playing for their season. And not only do we have exciting situations, but we have exciting players with exciting cards. It's just going to be cinema. And I'm also really excited to go into the playoffs. And it's just like across the board, any card from any act can be pulled. It'll be awesome. It'll be awesome. Like it'll to me, that experience will really put the whole season together and show us just some peak Board Wars action. So I'm really excited for this act, JD. I think these cards are really good. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 3 from every rank. So diamond, gold, silver, 3 from each one. Let's say we're not going to do a bronze because we already talked about those and there's like none of them. And then I'll give you 1 goat. I'll give you 1 goat.
One goat.
I will elaborate as much as I think I can on whether they got a buff, a nerf, or if they stayed the same.
Okay. What if they didn't have ability last time? I think there are some cards that have ability.
Then maybe don't pick those.
Dang it! No, I'm trying to get one over.
Well, you know
guys.
what?
I'm trying to help out
if you picked one, I'll try to tell you how good they'll be.
Okay.
Well, like
if we're starting with silvers, the first one sticks out to me is Augustus Steppe Purple Dragon.
So obviously Augustus Steppe didn't have an ability last time. His ability is very the highs of this ability are theoretically very high. If that happens, if that will happen, if that's even possible, kind of remains to be seen. He's a card that again has some really high upside, like probably the highest upside maybe out of any of the silvers. It's close, maybe one of the highest. But if he reaches that upside is really what remains to be seen. So a card that could make some serious waves, but we'll see if they do.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. My second silver is Wild Robot.
Wild Robot. Wild Robot is very useful. One of the most, I
Mm,
think, dynamically or almost like readily apparently useful silvers in the game. So that's a card that
okay.
like you know what you're gonna get. There's gonna be some strategy for using her, and again, one that will just add a lot to your team.
Okay. And then I think with my last one, I gotta go the legendary Honky Pete. What do we know about him?
Honky Pete, I will say he did get a buff.
Oh,
That's all I'm gonna say.
okay, okay. That's all. But we know he
Honky
got
Pete's
better
got a
though.
buff.
Okay.
Buffed in the news
Let's see.
patch.
So I get three. I now get three
Yeah.
golds. Oh man, there's so
People are
many.
watching at home. They're like, you
Mm,
got to pick the ones I want.
I know. I'm trying to think. What do people want to hear?
Big decision. Yeah.
Let's go with Little Mac.
Little Mac. That is an interesting one. I'm trying to think. I don't know whether it's really a buff or a nerf. He got a
Mm-hmm.
rework. I'll say that.
A
In
rework.
the
Okay.
past, he was kind of hard to use well. This new ability, it is very clear how he's meant to be used. And I guess there is some pretty high upwards potential if you are able to get him items that might increase his attack. But
Hmm.
yeah, he's got some good traits. So I don't know if I would say a buff or a nerf. I would say a rework for him.
Just rework.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would
Okay.
say
That's
for him.
some good information. I was asking about this one earlier, and you kind of mentioned a little bit, but Eli Manning.
Eli Manning. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Eli Manning stayed largely the same. There's an
Okay.
element to his ability that is a little different, but mostly what he does is the same.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
All right. I have one more. What do the people want? Actually, we were talking about this guy. We want him on the podcast.
I was literally, you just read my
What?
mind, JD.
Did I?
Yeah.
What do we know about Borgandies?
Borgandy's got a fat buff,
Oh,
an
I
actual
hit on it,
fat
yes.
buff. So he went from like a Katniss Everdeen, but better or worse, I guess, type of guy to a guy that does something completely different. And it's pretty good. it's pretty good.
Oh, yes. Hey, if you're watching, you're welcome, guys. I hit on that one. That was a good one.
Borgandy's is pretty strong. I also don't know if you saw, but he attacks like 7 to the second too for green.
I did
That's
not
pretty
see that.
good.
To the second for a goal.
That's pretty good for his green.
Insane.
I wonder if
What did you do to Borgandy?
he just has been training, I guess, and and
Okay.
maybe his ability will have a way of giving him that type of attack. So some exciting
Okay.
stuff.
All right. Moving on to diamonds, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
You talked about Vision for a bit, possibly.
Yeah.
I was also
possibly.
talking about this one. He just got moved down from Legendary. Metro Man.
Metro Man, I think his ability technically isn't as good as it was, but
Okay.
I think it fits, the diamond a lot more.
Fits his
Because
diamond.
Metro Man for the
Yeah.
end game was like insane, like actually
Mhm.
ridiculous. Like for the end game, like literally, like even though like as a legendary, it wasn't the best card, which I understand.
Mhm.
Like for the end game, he was just so strong. Like he could win you
Yeah.
end games. He's not going to be that good anymore, but yeah, like he'll have the same vibe.
Okay. Similar build.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Man, there's so many out here. let's ask about. Oh, I'm trying to think. I think these would be the same. You know what? Let's ask about Invincible.
Invincible. Invincible got a
Mhm.
pretty interesting rework to a point where
Okay.
I would say he's better than he was. I would say
He's
he's better
better.
than he was.
Okay.
Uh Old Invincible, he kind of put you in a box with what you could do with him, and it was very
Mhm.
situational. It's not like that anymore.
Okay.
He's
That's
a lot
that's
he's a
good to
lot
know. That's
easier to
interesting.
use, I'll say.
Okay, yeah. He was kind of situational. You had to do a lot with them to buff
You
him
had to
up.
do a lot to get a
So
little,
I
it felt like.
yeah. So I'm excited you got the buff because I mean I love Invincible the show and I thought he's a fun
He
card
is.
to
Yeah.
have. With my third, I'm going with CM Punk.
CM Punk. That is a very interesting question. His ability is roughly the same. There
Okay.
are now more creative ways you can go about doing what he is known for doing. And that's all I'll
Interesting.
say.
That's all you're gonna
That's
say.
all I'll say.
Okay. Hey, as long
So
as
he's
we're getting
I guess in
something.
that way he's better. I guess in that way he got a buff.
So it's a buff then.
I would say so.
Okay. So same ability, but just a little bit better.
More
That's good to
options. More
know.
options.
More options. Okay. That makes sense. Doesn't make sense. We don't know what it is, but when we see it, it will make sense.
Maybe it
Um.
helps, like you're thinking this and you get the
Yeah.
card and you're like, oh shoot. Maybe I know what I'm
Yeah. Think
getting
about pockets.
myself
Be like, oh,
into.
Gus said
Yeah.
that. All right. Three legendaries. First, Kratos. Does his change again? What are we looking at with him?
He got a buff.
Buff?
He got a
Little
buff.
buff, big buff.
His ability is the same concept. It just got a little bit better.
Yeah. A little better.
Which I will
Okay.
say, for him, it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Because he
Okay. I
was
mean,
already pretty
he's a
good.
legendary. Yeah, he was already good. He's in a group of really good
Yeah, he
legendaries.
is.
So
That's very astute of you
that makes it.
to point out.
Yeah. Second, man, here's the thing. I gotta think about like who's already been nerfed, who was really good last season. I think what about Steph Curry?
Steph Curry. Steph Curry has remained largely the same. There are some potential caveats or ways to get around it. That there
Okay.
weren't in the past. Um,
So you're saying it's a nerf?
I guess it's kind of just a rework. Um,
Okay.
because I don't know. See, this is a tricky one to explain.
Because
This is a tricky one to explain. I would say it's a rework. It's not going to be the less interesting. Oh, I just get to attack anybody from anywhere and I have to make it counter. You will be
uh
able to take more risks with his ability, and they will kind
hmm,
of be risks. There's not a guarantee, let's say, that you
that it
make
works.
them.
Oh,
And you get more of
interesting.
them. So I think it's just different. I don't know. It's just
Okay.
different.
Interesting. Interesting. I'm excited
A
to see
little bit more
that. Steph Curry,
strategy.
I know the Llamas had him. Llamas had him season 2, and he was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna go attack this guy. Oh, I'm gonna go attack." Like
Yeah.
it was amazing card to
Yeah.
have. So I'm interested to see with that
Yeah.
one. My last legendary, um, man, I hope I'm with the people, but honestly, I'm just going with what I want here. Lord Licorice.
Lord Licorice got a buff.
You get a buff?
That's all I'll say.
Okay,
That's
that's all.
all I'll
Okay.
say. It's a pretty sizable buff though.
That makes sense. I mean, I was trying to pick out the outliers with him being in this
Yeah, you
group. I'd
picked some
assume
good
that he had
ones.
to get a buff.
You picked some good
Yeah,
ones.
yeah. I'm good at seeing the
Good
outliers.
eye.
I'm hopefully the fans are are happy with my
Yeah,
decisions.
he got a pretty good one there.
But then lastly, did you tell me I get one?
Yeah, I'll give you one series.
Hmm. Man, some of these, I feel like most of these I would assume stayed the same. But I guess, well, can I ask about Muhammad Ali? How much? I know we haven't seen the build. I don't know if you want to say anything at all because I mean this is one of the best cards that have come out.
I mean, I could. I mean, I don't know.
You
Yeah.
Well, I'm asking you if okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna ask about Muhammad Ali because I think we all want to know a little bit about his
Muhammad
ability.
Ali, I mean, all of the legacy cards are really good in their own way. And
Mhm.
Muhammad Ali is really good in the same way that all the other series cards are. But he's good in a way that a lot of those cards weren't, if that makes sense. So, you know, you look at Stanley, you look at Chadwick Boseman, you look at, you know, like Akira Toriyama's Piccolo, and like all Kobe Bryant. And like all of those cards kind of scratch a different itch. And Muhammad Ali is just as suppressively incredible as all of those, but he taps into a realm that has kind of yet to be really seen in one of these top cards. So that's the
Really?
best way I
Oh,
would
okay.
describe it. He's very unique and he's very good. He's very good. I'm interested to see if people use him right the first time.
Hmm. Interesting. All right. Well, you heard it here first. Muhammad Ali is gonna be one of the greatest.
I just hope my bosses don't fire me. I hope I didn't say too much.
Yeah, the higher up in
the Board Wars
I mean, you
Mafia
gotta-
assassinates me.
that's that's what I was asking. I was like, Gus, are you sure? Are they gonna let you say this?
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I'll give you one more series.
Really?
Yeah. I'll give
One
you
more? Man, some of these guys, I'd be surprised
If
they were changed,
JD, everyone watching this video shares with their friend and subscribes and comments, you don't have to do that. But let's say you did, and JD, you can get another
I
one.
did. Okay. Another one, just going by process of elimination, I feel like someone said the same. The Purple Dragon, did he change at all?
He got tuned better. There were some parts of his ability that were a little weird that got fixed.
Okay.
There were parts of his ability that were a little unclear that got elaborated on. Largely, he's the same. You could say some of his elements got a nerf. Yeah, but he's largely the same.
Okay, same ability, just tuned up
Yeah,
the little
yeah,
parts.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And there's one guy I kind of want to talk about.
Oh, you gotta talk about Gus.
There's one guy I want to talk about. I don't know if maybe I should talk about him after we see him. I think that might be more interesting. I don't know. You were talking about him earlier, and I was thinking to myself, I don't know. Should I or should I not? I'm going to flip a coin.
Flip a coin? Oh my goodness.
I'm doing it on my phone. You call it, JD, heads or tails.
As a collective, I believe the fans right now want me to say tails, so I'm going with tails.
Okay. Coin, flip. You're going tails?
I'm going tails.
Okay, let's see. Heads.
No.
Sorry, JD.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Guys. Hey, listen, I'm happy. I'll be happy to talk about it after we see it. And I'll even bring this moment up. Remember this moment. I'll be like, I was wanting to tell you guys this. So we'll see how that goes in the future. But
leaving us hanging, Gus.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Hey, love you all. Thanks for watching the pod. You guys get that little sneak peek in some ways as we can go on to our next one.
All right, boys. For our last segment, we are going to be talking about this next game on Friday. And this is a big one. This one's going to have a lot of great players and decisions that will decide probably the future playoff bracket. For game 25 this Friday, we have Tasty Tea from the Smoky Sallies, Sigazel from the Purple Dragons, Bees Squeeze from the Jelly Jets, and then finally Max Power from my very own Astro Bears. Gus, how we feeling about this game? What are we excited for? Who do we think is gonna win this game? How do you think it's gonna go?
Okay. Tasty T, let's start from the top.
Okay.
Tasty T is a guy who played in Board Wars Season 0 all the way back when I made this game in
Wow.
high school. He was one of my high school buddies.
That's crazy.
He played this game all the way back then. He got drafted Season 1 to the league. You know, we needed people to play. And I think he goes to school at Navy. And he's just been a busy guy. He was on the football team for a while, you know. So being a student athlete at Navy, you know, where you also have like duties and stuff. Very busy guy. Hasn't played a game since he was drafted in Season 1.
Wow.
He got drafted to the Barbecue Beavers. He then got like signed by my team, the Purple Dragons, in Season 2. And now he's on the Smoky Salamanders. And, you know, he knew me and Slushy back in high school. And, you know, Slushy finally got him to play his first game
That's awesome.
since being in the league since Season 1. So, I mean, like, it's going to be interesting. I don't think Tasty T has thought about the game in 4 years. So, I mean, think about how much Board Wars has changed since Season 1. It's a lot. And think about how much Board Wars changed from Season 0 to Season 1. I mean, we used to play it on a paper, like cardboard board. He's going to show up. He's going to load up Tabletop Sim. And he's going to be like, what is happening? What is going on? Like, I don't think there's any chance this guy wins this game. I'm not going to lie. I don't think there's any chance Tasty T wins. Best case scenario for maybe the Smoky Salamanders is that he, you know, shows some sparks and really enjoys it. And, you know, he comes back and, you know, does better next time. I don't think, I don't know. I'm open to being surprised. Maybe we've got like an Alex Bruns or something on our hands.
Maybe.
So I'm not saying it's like 0, but it's like 1, maybe 2%.
What?
Like that this is possible. Like I really think it's low. I don't think that's happening. I don't think Tasty T is winning. And also he doesn't want it or need this win as bad as the other teams do. I mean, we're going to see the Astro Bears with their whole team needing a win. We're going to see the Dragons with their whole team needing a win. And we're going to see the Jelly Jets with their whole team needing a win. And that kind of brings me to the other rookie, or at least the other person making their debut, Buiz Squeeze. Buiz Squeeze for the Jelly Jets. Sorry, I'm yawning.
No, you're all good.
Buiz Squeeze had an incredible offseason of training. And I've witnessed his skills. And, you know, he's kind of been brought up alongside a lot of those other Jelly Jet rookies that have just really surprised us. Because of that, I love Buiz Squeeze for this game. I think he's going to have a pretty good shot. I think the Jelly Jets really need to win. But unfortunately, he's not my top 2 that I'm looking at. I got to say, though, I think there's a pretty good chance Buiz Squeeze takes it. If I'm going to give like Tasty T like a 2% chance.
Okay.
I'm going to give Buiz Squeeze a 20% chance. 20% for Buiz. Again, I like him. I don't know. My second highest, I would say I have a 35% chance at winning. So if you're counting, that's 2 plus 20 is 22 plus 35. That's 57 so far. So someone's going to be 43%, and we'll get to that in a minute. But the 35%, I think we would go to Sigazel. Sigazel had an incredible first game in the league. And honestly, he played so good, JD, and he still had moments where it was like, man, because you're a rookie and you're having those kind of rookie palpitations where you're, you know, struggling with the action clock. Like, I think he lost an entire turn and still like had a good game, you know, like, dude, Sigazale is really going to grow from that first game into this one. I think he got a lot of the jitters out of his system. He's a guy that knows the game very well. I see him in the player suggestions all the time. One of my favorite player suggestors. Shout out to like Python. Shout out to, who else suggests
Caden's
a lot?
in there quite a lot.
Caden's pretty
Straw.
awesome. Bertger Kimchi's in there quite a lot. Love him. Some really elite Straw, Bucky. Now I feel bad if I just leave somebody out. But I think those are the main guys that I'm like, these guys are good suggesters. But Sigazil's in there, and I think that demonstrates a knowledge for the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sigazil's got a pretty good chance, especially with a desperate Dragons team behind him. And of course, at 43%, I think that leaves it. I'm going to give the nod to Max, your guy, Max Power. Now, here's the thing. Max is 2-0. He is competing for some of these top awards. It'll be interesting to see how this goes, because if he wins this game, he's really up there for MVP. He's really up there for like if something goes wrong in the playoffs, which you guys would have a pretty good shot of making it if he does win.
Yeah.
But like even if, he's got a pretty good shot, if not for MVP, for Defense Player of the Year, for one of those big awards.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you remember a few episodes ago when we were going over our awards, I kind of had him being the odd man out and being the MIP. He has a real chance for that to not be the case.
Mm-hmm.
So, JD, I just kind of gave my analysis of this game, kind of where I think the odds lie. What do you think about this matchup?
I think this is a very interesting matchup. I think just to start off, I think I'm going to say I do believe Max Power will win. Obviously, he's my vice captain. He's on the Astro Bears. If Astro Bears ever playing, unless the odds, I'm be honest, unless it's like a Dr. Luke versus one of my rookies who haven't played, I'm always going to choose one of my players. I feel you got to do as a captain. But I think in this game especially, I think Max Power has the nod here. He's the only guy with wins. His wins are coming from this season, so he's on a good streak right now. The thing that I do want to point out is because since there are three, so they have the Dragons, the Jets, and the Astro Bears. They all need a win right here. They all got 3. The Sallies, they don't need the win. And I'm interested to see, with Max being 2-0, will he be the big target? Kind of with Piano Man, he kind of got the eyes were all looking at him. Will that happen to Max? Max is more as a defensive player, so does that happen? Because we saw with Goober, he was 2-0, more of a defensive player, and he kind of was still under the radar. So I'm interested to see what happens there. I'm also interested to see if Max is a win. He probably doesn't want Sigazale to win because that put him above them. And if probably doesn't want the Jets to win either. And the Jets and the Dragons probably feel the same way. So if they're all 3 going at each other, and I know we're talking about Tasty hasn't played at all, but if he has a knowledge of the game to understand, they're attacking each other, let me sit back. If he understands that, and the Sallies are good at that,
or more likely if he's told that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. He played board with 0. I'm sure he's at Navy. I'm sure he's a smart guy. I'm sure they're gonna help him out. So I think he'll be put in the same Sally position. I don't think he's gonna win that position, but I think he'll be put in the same position like Dan got put in, something like that. I could see that happening.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it. We have highly anticipated B Squeeze. I haven't seen him play at all. I've heard things from the vice captain, Mr. Java. Heard great things.
I've heard great things too.
There isn't much to say off because I just really haven't seen him. I can go off. There are other rookies who have played great. His brother played earlier. He had a great game. And then Sigazale, I think I'm similar with you. I mean, if Max doesn't win, I think Sigazale's the second best player here. I think he had a great first game. He lost to Papa Bear, like you said. He made some mistakes with the action clock, but I think he's an awesome player. You can see his knowledge with the game, with the player suggestions. I've seen him played in practice games. I've seen him around. I've talked to him about Board Wars. So I know he's a great player. I know the Dragons are going to help him out. They're all going to really want to win this game. So it's probably multiple guys there helping out because they need this win. So I think Sigazale is going to put up a good fight. I think B Squeeze will. And, I think Tasty T, Haven't met the guy, but I mean, I have faith that he's gonna put up a good fight. You know, if he's played the game before, obviously it's gonna be completely different, but the board was still the same. How you win is still gonna be similar. Although the tiles gonna be completely different, the cards gonna be completely different. But you know, if you play diplomacy wise, if you're smart with that, I think he can still keep up in that way. Maybe not knowledge of the game with these other guys who've been playing for a while. But I think either way, it's gonna be a fun game.
I agree.
Yeah.
Who's your official picker
My official
for the
pick
pod?
is Max Power to win this game. My vice captain.
And I can't pick Max Power. You know, JD, if I were you with my track record and kind of the luck aura that I think I'm, exuberating right now, I would maybe let me pick Max,
Oh.
But you can't go back on it. You can't go back, and I can't pick Max. I'm going Sigazil.
Okay.
I think Sigazil takes it home. If I can't pick Max, I'm picking Sigazil. And you know what that means, JD?
No.
Listen, I'm going to rub it in, okay?
No,
I'm 2-0.
no.
I'm 2-0.
That's
You know what that means?
again.
He's going to win.
No.
He's going to win.
No, because you got lucky the first two.
I did. I definitely did. But you know what? Sigazil on top, baby. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm tempted to say Buiz. I don't know.
Which one are you
I'm going to say Sigazil.
Lock it in
I'm going to leave it at that. Ah, man, but if I go back and look at this and be like, oh, it's Buiz, then I'm going to kick myself, which prepared to do. I love Buiz Quiz. It would be cool to see him.
Great guy.
Great guy indeed. As that's going to be it for our fourth ever episode of the official Board Wars podcast. And this is going to be probably the shortest one we've got, which is a little interesting. And JD, we've got kind of a big idea planned for next week. Do you maybe want to share with them what that might be? Give them a sneak peek for what's on the schedule maybe for next week?
Yeah. I mean, I would say the biggest segment we have planned, taking the most time, and I think will be very interesting and helpful also for the league, is we will be talking about and ranking all the assist characters that we have in that sheets. All the new ones, all the old ones, their abilities, which one's better, we know which one's the S tier, which one's in that D tier. We'll be talking about all of it. So I'm excited. I think it's be very knowledgeable and helpful for the players as we're going on. So I'm excited.
No, I'm excited to do the assist character tier list. That's going to be next week. And, usually we let somebody get the final word, JD. So I did it last time. I didn't have a lot to say. Do you have anything on your mind?
What do I have on mind? I'll say this. All I want to say is, make sure we're turning in for this next playoff game. Sorry, not this playoff game. This next regular season game, because these games will be like a playoff games. These next couple games will be played, and the skill and the tension that we have in these games are going to be awesome. So even if your team is not playing, I would tune in. I would watch these games. I would tune in for the podcast because just this episode, we dropped some important information about abilities. So if you haven't been watching these episodes, I would go back, look at them, because we're dropping some hints here. They're going to help you into this season. But good luck to everyone playing this in this next game, and good luck to every team and player in this league. Hope you guys have whenever you're watching this, have a great day and a great week.
You heard it here. We'll see you next week.